Maths, Standard Level, Paper 1, Monday, 12 November 2018. Well, welcome to my, hopefully, first of many past paper solutions. Like I said in the intro, I'm going to do the Maths IB, Standard Level, November 2018 paper. Question 1. The following diagram shows a circle with center A and radius 6 centimeters. The points B, C, and D lie on the circle with BAC being 2 radians. Find the area of the shaded sector. This is question 1A. Well, we know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. However, this is not a circle, whole circle that we're working with. We're working with just one area. Our radius is given to us as 6 centimeters. And the arc that we have only has 2 radians. So essentially, since we're working with a circle and we're using only 2 radians out of the 2 pi, we can actually use the pi r squared formula and only use 2 out of the 2 pi. Now, we're going to put in what we know into the whole thing. You'll get pi times 2 over pi times 2. And this is multiplied by our radius squared. The pi over 2 and will cancel with the other pi over 2 since you're dividing a number by itself. And then 6 is squared and your answer is 36 centimeters squared. Part B. Find the perimeter of the non-shaded sector ABDC. I'm just going to sketch the circle quickly here, just to help ourselves, and annotate it a little bit. Well, we've got a radius right there. Those 2 sides are equal. And we want to go around the whole circle. We just want that part. We don't want this part right here, which I'm going to highlight in bold, just to make it obvious that we don't want it. Excuse me, my voice is a little bit sore because I'm a little bit ill. So let's annotate the circle a bit. A, B, D, and C. We want all those lengths put together. I repeat, all those lengths put together. Now, we know the the perimeter of the whole circle is worked out by 2 pi r. Furthermore, we also know that the radius, the A and the C, are both given to us and are 6. So I'm just going to put a little formula down here so that we know what we're working with. We get 2 pi r plus r plus r. We're going to take away the BC arc. Now, the way we work out the BC arc is also using 2 pi r. However, we only want some of the circle. So we know that 2 pi represents the whole circle, and six is the radius. So therefore, just BC is, instead of 2 pi, which is for the whole circle, we're just going to use the radians of our arc, which is 6 times 2. Simplifying our ABDC, we get 2 pi 6, since that's our radius, plus 6 minus 6 times 2. The 6's will cancel because plus 12 minus 12 just gives 0. So we end up with 12 pi. Let's move on to the next question. Question 2. Now, I know we have it on paper, but I'm just going to write the table again, so I can illustrate better how it's used. Well, we've got x at the top, and f of x below it, and g of x below it. And the numbers next to them correspond to what values f of x and g of x give out. For example, we have minus 2. If x is minus 2, then f of x is 6.
and g of x will be 7. Minus 7. Similarly with 1, you get 3 and minus 2 respectively, 1 and 5 respectively, and minus 2 and 9 respectively. For part A, it asks us to find the value of f of 1. So this is just saying when x is 1, what's the value of f of x? We just read the table. We see that when x is 1, f of x is 3. That's 1 mark in the back. Part B asks us to find the value of g composition f of 1. Now, when it asks us to do composition function, always we read from what is closest to the number we're working with. So in this case, we can rewrite it as this: g of f of 1. G of f of 1 from part 1 is 3. Sorry, f of 1 is 3, and then g of 3, we go to the table and we find that as 5. Part C, we find the value of g inverse of minus 2. I'm going to make it equal to x, just so that it's a bit clearer what I'm doing instead of just reading the table. We can read the table and go backwards from g of x and go from minus 2 to whatever our answers is, but I prefer this way because it's a bit clearer. So I'm going to multiply both sides by g, the function g, and g of its own inverse is always the identity function, meaning that it doesn't change the number that you work with. So you will just end up with minus 2. Now g of x, we're going to go to the table to see what it gives minus 2 when we have g of x. Scroll up a little bit, and we get that minus 2, the input for minus 2 is 1. Therefore, in this case, our answer is 1. Let's just write that out. G of 1 is minus 2, so our x is 1. That's it for question 2. Question 3. In an arithmetic sequence, u1 equals minus 5 and d equals 3. What does this actually mean? It means we have a sequence, so basically a set of numbers ever increasing, starting from minus 5 and going from one term to the other, there's a difference of 3. What does this mean? So that will mean from u1 we add 3 to get to u2, and from u2 we add 3 to get to u3. Now we've got these terms here, and it's the same with u4. It's u3 plus 3. It's the one before it plus 3. Now if you look in your formula book, you'll see that the nth one is minus 5 plus 3 in brackets n minus 1. This is just from the formula book. I haven't done anything clever. I've skipped forward a bit because I was trying to prove it, but then I realized it was in the formula book. So don't worry about the stuff that's just appeared on the screen. However, below it, we need to simplify our equation so that it's easier to work with. 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8, and you still have the 3n. Now let's actually get into the question. You don't have to do this for every time, you can just do it in part A, but I like to do that before doing anything in the question or working with part A. So it says find the 8th term. That just means sub in 8 to n. You get minus 8 plus 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 minus 8 is 16. That's part A done. 2 marks in the back. Part B. We find the value of n for which un equals 67. So now we have the output, but we want the input. We want the n which is useful for this question. The way we do this is use the formula from before part A. we get that 67 equals minus 8 plus 3n. Haven't done anything clever here, I'm just writing down what I know. Now, on the other page, we're going to simplify this, and we're going to add 8 to both sides. Now, obviously, cancel out the 8 on the right-hand side, and you'll just get 3n by itself. I'm just going to rearrange so that the n is on the left. Now, 3n equals 75, because we've added the 67 and the 8. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 75 divided by 3 is 25. And 3n divided by 3 is obviously n. So our answer is n equals 25. And that's question 1 to 3. We can do the rest of the paper if this gets enough views. But there are loads of other papers, other YouTubers doing the same thing. If you've got any other questions about the video, I'm glad to answer. Just leave your comments below.